Monday, 2 p.m. Central. New time, same us. And I'm going to be honest with you, fellas. Feels pretty good. This one, it's the Goldilocks porridge situation. Oh, this one's too cold. Oh, this one's too hot. This one right here, this one's just right. Listen to the viewers. Excited you guys are here. If you can't watch us live, we still appreciate you. But man, David, feels like a good start.
Feels good. 2 p.m. Had a couple cups of coffee by this point.
You did. I got to sleep. I slept in all the way till 6:15. It was great.
I did too.
It was great.
Oh, what time I woke up to.
What about you? What about you, Blaine?
What a glorious.
Like I just woke up.
How are you feeling? 1 to 10. How are you feeling right now?
Oh, 11.
You're an 11.
11.
You're never
Already?
an 11.
Woke up 9:15.
Really?
Woke up at 9:50.
That's early for you.
Took a big stretch, walked outside, took a nice Eddie, got locked, got in through the day.
I love it.
Now we're
I
here.
love that.
Since the Bruins got put out this weekend, I thought I'd hit you guys with a little fun fact today. Do you guys remember Seabass from Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah.
Remember Seabass? Yeah. Do we have a picture of Seabass? Pull him up here just so everybody knows and can visualize Seabass from Dumb and Dumber.
So my favorite
I just want
scene.
to let you guys know this guy's name. This guy's name in real life, Cam Neely. Okay, Cam Neely was a professional hockey player, played for the Vancouver Canucks and the Boston Bruins from 83 to 96, inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2005. He's now the president of the Boston Bruins.
No way.
The guy who played...
You're for real. You're 100%
Shut up,
for real.
David.
President of the
How
Boston
did you
Bruins.
even?
Yeah, how do you find
That's him right there. Look
I
at
feel
that.
like you got like a gnome that
What are
follows you around
doing?
and tells you these.
Are you just diving down rabbit holes? Or?
Rabbit hole, found this one. I thought there's no way. Seabass? Seabass from Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah, I saw it in the
President,
movie.
The Boston Bruins. Hall of Famer.
I saw it in the movie. He's like, did they get away? He's like, no, he caught him a couple miles down the road and slit their throats.
Hey, great actor too. Thought he did a great
He did a
job
good
in
job.
that movie.
He did a good job. Believe me, we
Hall
would
of
know.
Famer. Put some respect on his name.
I love that. Good start. EA Sports has dropped their official trailer for College Football 25, and it's glorious. We'll discuss. The Timberwolves take Game 7 from Denver on the road, and the glorious Trey Wingo joins us to recap the PGA Championship and Scottie Scheffler's first trip to the Big House. I'm Jake Crane. It's a new time with the same us here on Crane & Company. EA Sports revealed their new trailer of the College Football 25 game, which has a cult-like following. We all know that. And it got me thinking. You know, when you hear the term cult, you automatically think of a group of crazy people who are infallibly in love or are 100% behind something or someone. Well, I cannot think of a better way to describe college football fans. And to be honest, I'm proud of it. I'm in a cult and you are too. Get over it. But the real question is, how much does having a cultish following actually help a team win a championship? Well, in my opinion, the answer is simple. It's a must if you want to compete consistently at the highest level. I mean, think about it. There hasn't been a national champion in a long time who didn't have an incredibly rabid or obsessed program/fan base behind them. Casuals don't win titles on the field or in the stands. Crochet that one on a pillow. Hell, we have fans who bark at each other and children. People who are willing to load binders full of signs of other teams just to gain a split-second advantage, David, Michigan fans. We've had people poison trees in the middle of a community next to a water supply, and others buy out whole towns worth of toilet paper, not because the local buffet didn't cook the Salisbury steak all the way through, but in jubilation instead. West Virginia, they literally burned furniture in the streets in celebration, and Tennessee has their own naval armada that shows up on game days. College football is one big cult made up of smaller ones. And dear God, if it isn't the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, I don't know what is. And that's why I never count out teams like Texas A&M. These people meet outside at midnight to scream into the sky about their team. It's only a matter of time for them. Now, where I differ from the dictionary's definition of a cult, which states a misplaced or an excessive admiration for a particular person or thing, is that our love for our team and our sport is not misplaced, yet it's perfectly placed. See, towns run on these athletic programs, and it bonds us together for life. It touches people from continent to continent. And when we colonize Mars, the first thing they need to be successful is to start a college football team. And the mascot better be the Martians or we riot. We pump money into these places and people, hoping to see a big return for our communities. And it makes us better overall. I don't know what else y'all be doing on a Saturday. So when they say your team is a cult, you should take it as a compliment right before you down that glass of Kool-Aid. Because if your fan base or program isn't cult-like, you never stood a chance at all. David Cohn, former Michigan quarterback. My brother, Blaine Crane, former Western State Colorado wide receiver who turns into a flaming dragon on Fridays. Outside of that, he's just flaming. Guys.
Okay.
Guys.
That hurts.
Michigan pumps 110,000 people, 108, whatever it is, into one place on a Saturday. To put that into perspective, we launched 133,000 troops to go invade Europe on D-Day. We're almost doing a D-Day invasion every Saturday just in Ann Arbor, Michigan. But David, if your team isn't a cult, or if your fan base isn't a cult, there's no way you're going to win.
Well, what have I said to you since I met you? This was February 2021, something like that, and we would talk about the SEC's dominant performance in the college football playoff since basically 2006. Not that the SEC before that didn't have really good teams and even dynasties, but my freshman year of college, that's when Urban won it at Florida, and since then, the SEC has reeled off 75% of the national championship, something like that. And I've said to you, I said, look, I just don't know if, I'm talking about my alma mater here, I don't know if the University of Michigan, still cares about college football on the level that it needs to be able to crown the national champion. Yes, of course, they love the revenue that comes in from the sport, and it has the largest stadium in the country. But, from that cult-like mentality, do they care enough to be national champions again? Enter a guy named Connor Stalions.
Yes.
Say what you will about whatever rules might have been broken or whatever.
The boy who lived.
I'm talking about just from the outside, even college football fans across the country, deal with a couple of these facts here. Guy joined the military so that he could come back and contribute in some way to the University of Michigan football. This guy's writing manifestos about how we can make the football program. Yeah. This is an SEC mentality. So when guys I graduated with and played with, they were calling me all last fall. They'd call me every single week and they'd say, hey, I always wanted us to have more of an SEC mentality when it came to college football. Have we taken it too far? Because now we're in the spotlight in a negative way. I'm just saying that happened to be the year you went 15-0.
It's amazing. It's not coincidental.
Well, I just are as a fan base in totality, are Michigan fans cultish?
You want me to give you the numbers again?
Well, I'm not talking about attendance to a football game.
That's a big part of.
I'm talking about.
You don't attend the cult rallies. You're not in the cult.
I feel like if you have to come out and say why you can't get Michigan fans to tell you go blue back, then we're having an honest conversation if they're cult fans.
So go ahead and give us your definition of cult. Is there any other cult other than Texas A&M? Is that all that qualifies to you?
Well, no, that's a cult. I think.
Or like poisoning trees. Maybe.
Poisoning trees is a cult. Rolling trees is a cult. I think attendance is a part of it for sure, but I do think there's things that are more behind the scenes, more traditional that makes you a cult, and I think a cult can hurt you. I think A&M's cult hurts them.
How?
Because they get made fun of 24/7.
Everybody gets made fun of.
And won nothing. What does A&M won?
But wouldn't you rather have that cult-like following and get made fun of than nobody give a damn about it and it really doesn't matter? You're never going to win it that way.
Does it feel like when it comes to Michigan, outside of the football team and some fans, do they give a shit that much?
Yeah, I think so.
I will say most people there, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, most people are there to go to school. Most people are there to get that Michigan degree. Some of them are in the library studying on.
What is this school thing you're speaking of?
It's the other thing that I was forced to do.
So that's where I get when the argument comes, you have to be super cultish to win. I watched Michigan kill people the entire year, and the fan base was like, yeah.
I don't think the fan base was like, yeah. I think Michigan fans came out of the woodwork when Connor Stalions, I think, puts it over the edge. I'm not saying that Michigan is the most cultish. I'm saying there's a level of cult activity that needs to take place. Whether that means you bring a Marine back who just did everything the NCAA never thought anybody would take enough time to do to come and do it. But then you look at the team, the Michigan team, all the guys that stayed together throughout the transfer portal that could have left early to go to the NFL draft. That was kind of a cult within itself. But it's that line, it's that threshold of cultishness that you need to hit. It needs to matter when nobody's looking. Like, for example, I can't watch an Auburn game with people that don't understand it like I understand it. Blaine had one of the best quotes of all time. Watching an Auburn game with him, there'll be 2 holes in the wall and Auburn won by 17. Like that's just, there's a level that it has to hit. And I look at Michigan globally. I think Michigan hits that level. But let us know in the comments. All right, and in the calls, the phone line's going to open 2:45 p.m. Central. That's 1-855-236-3228. Which ones did I miss? Which school do you think is the most cultish? Is it A&M? Is there another one? It's a fascinating conversation, especially in May. But before we get to the Booster Club, and make sure you hit that subscribe button, that new EA Sports College Football trailer that came out is absolute, pure, 100% gasoline. And I know you're going to down it because you're a pessimist, and I hate you for it, and I hate you for it, and I'll possibly never forgive you for it. But let's go ahead and play the trailer. Here we go. I love it starting out in Boise State.
Look at that. Look at the visuals.
God, it looks so good.
Little lens flare.
Nice.
Look at that. That's great.
I don't like why are we showing Boston College this early? They don't really care that much. Speaking
For
of
you,
school,
Billy. There it is.
How much did Boston College pay?
Jeff Haffey's like,
oh, God, just inject this in my veins. Flyovers? They say the in-game experience from the walkouts and stuff is going to be absolutely incredible. And it looks incredible. There's A&M. There it is. God, I just want to punch a grown man right in the face watching this, but then play and be friends with him after.
White out.
There's Washington in the rain. Penn State. No Auburn. Pissed about that, honestly, but
yeah.
That's not what it's
Come on,
about.
you.
I need to talk to the team.
We're Wyoming's on.
Wyoming's kicking off. We can't even get on the game.
Appalachian State.
Little Syracuse action. Cusmo to love that.
Amount of
but like it looks clean. I know they're going to put their best foot forward here. But you think
it looks okay.
You think it's going to be just exactly Madden. I don't think it's going to be.
This is what I worry about. Graphics wise, it's not great to me. I think it's okay. It kind of looks like
that's okay to you.
Yeah, it looks like last year's Madden.
Well, I mean, it's not 3027.
Yeah, I know it's not. And there's going to be certain things that are alike. This is the way things are when it comes to football games. But I'm from a mechanical gameplay. That's what I'm thinking about. It looks like Madden to me.
Well, when you get to the nitty gritty and what they've released, you're going to have like fatigue, wear and tear now.
For sure.
You're going to have to be able to make those decisions on guys that are getting beat up throughout the game. It's just all the moves and the buttons and things like that. I'm hoping that it's going to be cleaner. I think it will be a little bit cleaner than Madden. Did they use the same engine as Madden?
Yeah, I mean, it's EA, so yes.
So it's going to be exactly the same movements.
There's going to be some mechanics that are the same. I'm interested to see what's different. I don't know exactly what mechanics will be different in game, but there are some cool things when you look at. They're going to have Ultimate Team,
I like that.
Which I feel like when it comes to Ultimate, there's certain people who like to play Ultimate Team. There's certain people who like to play.
I'm glad it's
Dynasty,
there.
And the availability, I'm okay with.
Yeah, I don't like mushrooms, but I'm glad they're there for everybody else to enjoy.
The availability, I'm fine with, but you're going to have coaching perks, coaching skill trees, coaching archetypes, which is cool. You see that a lot in kind of the NBA game when you're making your player. But there is some in-depth. The recruiting and the transfer portal.
That's what is
going to be huge.
And a couple things that people have asked. I have heard that you can play with up to 32 people in an online dynasty.
Really?
Which is awesome, and I hope that's 100% the case. And then also cross-platforming. You can go Xbox to PlayStation, PlayStation to Xbox, which has to happen. From a PC standpoint, I don't think you can do it on the computer, but that's fine. I don't care about that.
In your face.
Hasn't EA made both of the games before? I mean, even 10 years ago. So the engine wasn't the same then?
I'm not 100% on this. I'd have to look more. I'm pretty sure they're using the same engine. I wouldn't be surprised if it is different, but not 100%.
We'll see. Somebody in the chat knows. Going to get to the chat in 1 second, but first, we may not be going at 6:30 a.m. in the morning anymore. All right, live at least. But that doesn't mean you don't need an amazing cup of coffee. All right, you got to hop out of the bed like you're possessed. You go get a cup of Joe, you get in the routine, and you get ready to go beat the day up in a positive way. And what a better company to use than Black Rifle Coffee. Because again, you may not always have time to brew coffee the traditional way each morning. You may live a Josh Heupel style of offense lifestyle. All right, that's why you need Black Rifle Coffee's ready-to-drink cans. It's perfect for people who need it quickly. It contains at least 200 milligrams of caffeine, so it's going to get you there, and it tastes delicious with different flavors like vanilla bomb, salted caramel, mocha, and Blaine's favorite, vanilla caramel. Sometimes he pours it on himself, and we wonder why he does that. But a cool note is Black Rifle Coffee is a veteran-founded company that's operated by principal men and women who honor those who protect, defend, and support our country. And with every purchase you make, they give back. So save money and drink America's coffee. Go to blackriflecoffee.com to view their entire collection of premium roasts from light to extra dark. It's that Slytherin roast. You can also find Black Rifle Coffee in grocery and convenience stores near you. That's blackriflecoffee.com. Enjoy it because it's good. Maybe that Flamin' Dragon brew. Maybe that's coming up.
It's in the works.
All right, let's get to the chat.
All right, chat, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you donate, it's on topic. It will get read. If not, all of them will get read at the end of the show. We're going to start it off with Dale Dyer. Dale, what's up, brother? He says, if you notice, only teams on the trailer that got shown all had a check on their uniform.
Really? Well, Auburn's going to Nike, so why weren't they on there? Maybe it hasn't been official yet. I did not put 2 and 2 together there, Dale. That's a good find.
So what's the correlation between EA and Nike then?
You ever been to Ukraine?
I have not.
Well, that's why you don't know.
Okay.
All right, let's go to E. Thomas. What's up? Hashtag Ask CNC. What traditions and rivalries are you excited to see in the new college football 25 game?
Easy, all of them. Every single one of them. I think, looking at the way the walkouts are, I think you're going to get that true traditional kind of branding for each one. I think it's going to be even more in depth, spread across 134 FBS schools. I think, typically once you start playing the game, you just try and get past the starting stuff each time as fast as possible, like hitting A just to get to the game. I don't know. I think this one, at least early, I'm going to slow down and take a look out the window, David.
I think I'm most excited just to get Michigan and then beat Appalachian State. Actually, maybe once
just
a week.
Get on
that's what I'll do.
By 100.
Just
once every week.
Kind
it's a mental thing for you.
Heal some internal scarring that's going on.
I love that.
Once a week,
just listen to Papa Roach in the background while it's playing.
God, last resort. All right, let's go to MJ. MJ, what's up? Ultimate Team ruined EA in all sports games. The EA team focused way too much on Ultimate Team and microtransactions and less on the good game modes and just pay to win. Trust me.
Well, I don't want them to overload just the Ultimate Team. I don't want them to play, this is my favorite kid, I'm going to pay the most attention to it. But like I said about mushrooms, I don't like mushrooms. Portobello, all the other type of mushrooms, right? Even the ones that are covered in chocolate that make you talk to the aliens. But I'm glad they're there so other people can enjoy them. So I hope they don't take too much time with the Ultimate Team. Look, I'm going to be playing the online Dynasty mode. Y'all know what time it is. And by the way, Andy Staples, we're talking about that Sports Media Dynasty League. Our buddy Andy Staples from On3 said he's rocking Louisiana Monroe because General Booty just transferred there.
Have you declared yet?
Have you?
I have not.
What's it down to?
Those teams are getting taken.
Down to 2.
What are the 2?
Can't tell you that.
You can't tell
me? This Friday, maybe you'll announce?
Hey, reveal it. Have your own reveal.
Well, should we do it Thursday?
Have your own reveal.
Because
Thursday.
Just do it your way. All right, one more.
Did you see that comment from Squeezed Liberal, by the way?
Oh, I was about to read it. Yeah, it's a $5 donation.
Oh, I didn't see the donation.
He donated, yes. Game engine doesn't matter as much as people make it out to be. The Battlefield series uses the same one as Madden as an example. That's crazy to me. So the Battlefield's a war game.
Okay.
If you know, it's been around, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 2, been around a long time. I don't know if Battlefield's an EA game. I'm not 100% sure. But how, you use the same engine, well, then what are the differences that are used between games, or what is the similarities to be used between Battlefield and Madden?
That's interesting.
I've got absolutely no idea.
Right? Yeah. Be more efficient from a business standpoint.
Maybe. But speaking about efficient, good Lord, the Pacers and Timberwolves were efficient last night.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, the Timberwolves, I could talk about this game for like 2 hours. It was one of the best NBA games that I've seen in quite a while. Referees let them play, first of all. 98-90 Timberwolves over the Nuggets. Obviously, we saw how the T-Wolves started off in this series, winning the first 2. Now winning the last 2 in such dominant fashion. After those middle 3 games, the Denver Nuggets were breaking like offensive efficiency. But now I did see a stat that said for the last 6 years running, this is 4 years in a row, we got Golden State and Cleveland, right, in those 4 championships, those 4 finals. 6 years in a row, there hasn't been a repeat champ even at the semifinal level in either conference. Yeah. So the Nuggets now not going to be back-to-back champs.
Well, even before we get into the game, I think this is the best version of the NBA possible. This is the most excited I have been to watch. We trash the NBA when it's called for. I don't think anybody's been harder on the NBA than us for the product during the regular season, kind of the stuff on the periphery as opposed to just putting a good product out there, a physical product, to be able to see what these guys can really do. I have enjoyed watching the physicality. You haven't heard a lot about flopping. Boy, nobody's really talking about that in these last couple series. And you're seeing a changing of the guard, right, from the stars. Right? We've watched what Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have done at the Celtics, but you're seeing Jalen Brunson, right? You're seeing Anthony Edwards and what he's doing for that franchise. Halliburton at the Pacers. These young stars rising up at a very important time, playing at an unbelievably high level. So I do want to give the NBA their flowers there. I think it's been a fantastic product throughout the playoffs. Again, like it or not, it is the truth. But that Minnesota game, what it seemed to me was it looked like, especially late, that one team had already won an NBA championship and was out there trying. I'm not saying they weren't trying, but was out there trying hard. And it looked like the other team was a franchise that is starving to death and is dying of thirst to go win one. The sense of urgency and the level of physicality that Minnesota really played with throughout the series. Not, the first 2 games they won, I didn't think they backed off the physicality aspect, but just downhill, and the rebounding and the ability for Minnesota to push Denver around in the crucial moments, I thought was what made the difference. And I'm looking at this Minnesota-Dallas matchup, and this looks like The Conjuring if I'm a Mavericks fan. This is not, I don't think of the Mavericks and think of instant physicality. I like Gafford and what he's done down low, but it's going to take Luka and Kyrie not just scoring. They're going to have to do the dirty work to win this series, and I don't know if they got it in them. I don't know if they got it. This is a bad matchup. This is a team with a great run game that wants to pound it and can stop the run versus a finesse team that likes to go fast, flip it around on offense, throw the ball down the field. I'll take the team that can run the ball.
Well, Blaine, Nuggets find themselves up by 15 in the second half of a Game 7 at home.
Yeah.
And I had them, right? And I put the future on them to win the final. So I was feeling pretty good knowing that, hey, 15 points in the NBA can evaporate like that. And it did. This whole series basically came down to 5 minutes where it was tied up. All of a sudden, Minnesota finds themselves up 10 points with 2 minutes left to go in the game. This is with Jokic scoring 34, Murray scoring 35, no other player on the Nuggets scoring in double digits.
And that's what we've talked about when it comes to the Nuggets. How do the Nuggets beat you?
As a team.
They beat you with team basketball, with 2 elite players. And your 2 elite players showed up when it mattered the most. We talk about, I watched that game before this game. Jokic didn't sit down for 1 second in the fourth quarter. You knew he was about to show up. Like, you really did. And I do agree with Jake. We're seeing the passing of the guard. We're seeing old talent get out. It's time for new talent. It really is. And I do think the way that the Timberwolves are built, it just gives the Nuggets problems. Because they're so long. Rudy showed up when it mattered most, rim protector. I thought Cat had
he was hitting fadeaway.
You knew when that went in.
If they're hitting that,
it's over. But I thought Cat had a great series. Daniel was probably the most underrated guy in McDaniels in the whole series.
Well, has Anthony Edwards, I haven't seen, Cat to me used to be soft. I mean, it was soft. He was finesse to me. I think Anthony Edwards, that mindset, Minnesota's got that damn dog in him. Like that, you can see it in him. And when Ant starts cooking, it is amazing how the elevation, not just of putting the ball in the basket, but the physicality, going and get the offensive rebounds. Reggie Miller on one of those last possessions was like, all right, if you're Denver, you got to get a stop. You can't let him get a putback. That literally Conley drove to the basket, missed one, and Cat came out of the corner, got the rebound, dunked it. It was game over. It just seems to me like Minnesota is they're just starving. It's life or death to them out there. That's what it felt like to me when they outscored the Nuggets 54-31 from 9 minutes, 50 seconds on, from the third quarter on, whatever it was. They dominated the game and ended up running away and hiding.
It just felt like the Nuggets ran out of gas. That's what it felt like. At one point, they were up 20. I think Ant had 7 points with 7 minutes left to go in the second.
Well, you could say ran out of gas, but I think Minnesota forced them to run out of gas.
Yeah,
I think Minnesota was trading paint with them the whole time for long.
Second half of a Game 7, the defense traveled and won. I mean, we see it all the time.
Yeah.
That's what happened. And what was the guy's name who filled in when Karl Anthony Towns?
Oh, Naz Reid. He was sixth man of the year. Yeah, he was sixth man of the year, and he came in and had some huge plays. As far as I know the Pacers, real quick, we can talk about the Knicks injuries.
Yeah.
And that's multiple things can be true at once. We say this all the time. What I saw from Indiana was one of the best offensive performances in basketball that I've ever seen in my life. that I've ever seen in my life. You go look at the shooting percentage. Everybody was hitting. Everyone was hitting. Yeah, they were getting out and running. They were getting to the rim. Halliburton was hitting everything. Naismith didn't miss a shot. Miles Turner couldn't miss. Pascal Siakam made more mid-range jump shots than I've ever seen somebody make in a game. Everybody was hitting. If it wasn't for Alec Burks for the Knicks, they'd have lost by 50. If the Pacers didn't call up the dogs, they could have scored 150. I've never seen a team play that well. They were at one point, late in the game, were shooting 71% from the field. And I know Anunoby being hurt, I think the Knicks were 1-4 without OG in there. I get it affects them defensively. But I don't think OG Anunoby would have had that big of a difference in the way this game turned out. The Pacers played that good. They picked the best time in the world to play their best. That's what it looked like to me.
So here's my question then, because we really hadn't seen in our lifetime the Knicks be extremely relevant, certainly not in the past 2 decades. And I can't wait for Knicks fans to call in and tell us what they think. Here they find themselves in a Game 7 matchup to be able to go to the Eastern Conference Finals, possibly play Boston. And like you said, injuries, they just ran out of gas. Like these Thibodeau coach teams like we saw when he was with Chicago. They're so much fun to watch because the average sports fan loves when a team like plays this hard. And I think you're right when you talk about Jalen Brunson, which you've been talking about him for a long time, that's just the mentality he brings. What do you do now? Like, clearly, the Nuggets don't need to panic. The Nuggets are defending champs. They were right there in a Game 7. Like, there's not, like, additions that need to be made. For the Knicks, like, what would you want to see from them if you were the general manager to be able to be a championship caliber team? Because if you move off of DiVincenzo, like, to me, he had 39 yesterday. You can't break up the Villanova guys.
No. Here's, and I saw Colin Cowherd say, oh, well, New York, I believe someone in New York, needs to go get a star and not mess with the culture. That's a lot easier said than done. Like, where is that person?
Like a star.
Like a star basketball. What star player are you going to go get that isn't going to come in and affect the culture? You know what? If I'm the Knicks GM, I need our ass to stay healthy. I really don't need to add. I think it's enough. With Julius Randle, with Mitchell Robinson, with OG Anunoby, with Bogdanovich, that not enough people are talking about that got hurt. If the Knicks stay healthy, right, I think this team can compete for, not just compete, but can actually win one. Jalen Brunson is your star. That is your star. And you have a culture around him. Julius Randle, you could say, is a star, but Jalen Brunson, to me, is the headliner for New York. And he brings that grit and that toughness and kind of that little dog fighting the big dogs mentality in a big dog city, which I think works well. I don't think you go out there and try and add something to the cake that may screw the whole thing up. You just got to get the cake out of the oven without the damn thing falling apart.
What do you think? Do they need to add something, or can they address this in the draft?
I don't think you need to go get a big star. I think you have that already in Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, but I do think adding depth is always good.
Well, adding depth, yeah, but like, again, I am not going to sacrifice what this team has built and the direction and the North Star where it's pointing right now to go out and get a huge name that could blow the whole thing up. Like, I don't think the Knicks really need to retool that much. Yes, adding depth is nice. Go get some young players that add depth. But you don't need to go out there and get Batman. Hell, you have Batman, you have Robin. Hell, DiVincenzo's young ass turned into old ass Alfred.
Well, I do think if you're going to make a move and move a piece, I'd probably move Julius Randle. Because, I mean, you got this far without him.
I don't know. Imagine if you had him. He's a nightmare matchup to me. He's like having that tight end that's big and can run routes and block. Like, you just don't have those tweener guys that can do that. Like, you have really big guys, then you have, your guards. He's kind of that tweener. So it's an interesting argument. We want to know what y'all think. Again, the phone lines open up, 2:45 p.m. Central. We got Trey Wingo coming on here in 1 second, David. But, I mean, again, if you're the Knicks, I mean, are you going out and trying to grab some big piece and just see what happens?
I just think that they've spent so much time developing this culture, and this is the way this team had to play. This is the way this team had to fight. And, of course, that leads to, I mean, when guys are playing with 44, 45 minutes, like, you're worn down towards the end of a series like this in Game 7. I don't know if they can go toe-to-toe with what Boston's been able to do, like the way that team is assembled. And that's just if you got out of the East. I mean, the West is like, then you got to go contend with whoever comes out of there. That's why I'm kind of liking Minnesota right now to win it all.
I feel like they got the recipe. It smells right. But speaking about going out and getting a star, we thought for our first guest and a new time frame, new time, we got to go out and get a big dog. And we have a guy that number one, I don't want to age him, right? I don't want to age him, but he's a guy that I grew up watching, have a ton of respect for. Always handles himself unbelievably well, and it was always a fun watch when I got to watch him. You can find him everywhere. He's been on ESPN. He's got the Alternate Routes podcast, with Mr. Frazier over there, but he's everywhere. He's got Trey Wingo Presents. But Mr. Trey Wingo, Trey, thanks for taking time, being the first guest in our new time slot, and it's an honor to have you on, my friend.
Jake, you don't age me. As you can see, I age myself, so don't worry about that. That's. And by the way, what is it going to take for me to introduce you to something called a bowl of pasta or a cheeseburger, man? When did you turn into Kate Moss? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, Trey. First off, that's a very good.
I mean, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's a very good-looking lady. I appreciate the compliment, Trey. No, it's funny. I had my wedding and we had that movie at the same time, so I was kind of like shedding for the wedding. And then they were telling us how, the camera kind of flattens you out, I guess. So I kind of got in a groove, man. But don't worry, I'm working on gaining it all back. My wife keeps getting those goo-goo clusters at the store. I'm going to gain it all back. But speaking about gaining it back, our guy Xander Schauffele hadn't won a major. I mean, he had like 12 top 10 finishes. There was craziness that was going all around on the periphery at the PGA. But just for a second, I want your thoughts on the tournament overall. I thought it was fantastic. The ending was fantastic. But how much that meant for a guy that I think a lot of people root for in Xander Schauffele that's not super flashy, but finally got him one, man.
Yeah, look, you never want to be the guy in golf whose title is best to have never won a major.
Sure.
Right? And that's what basically Colin Montgomery's career came down to when he was a big star on the PGA Tour. He was one of the best Ryder Cup players I've ever seen, but never could break through at a major. And, Xander has game for ages. And, he's so consistent at the U.S. Open. I think in all his U.S. Opens, he only has one time where he hasn't been in the top 10. So it's always been there. And you could see he could do it. He's shown up at the Ryder Cup, and he obviously won the gold medal in the Olympics a couple of years ago. But the putter was such a big part for him in this. And, we always talk about how far these guys drive it and, and what they can do. At the end of the day, almost always in a major is who's better with the putter. And Xander made some incredible putts, especially on the front side. I think it was the 5th or 6th hole where he was really chasing one for par to keep his lead. And he drained about a 15-footer. And I think that really steadied him. And then he made the bogey on 10, which is one of the easiest holes out there. But he responded with a bounce back-to-back birdies, and then to come through and play the way he did on 18, knowing full well that, all the momentum was probably riding with Bryson if they go into a playoff, and to make that putt and see that roll in. It's a validation of everything that everyone's thought about Xander Schauffele's game. And I don't think this is going to be the last major he wins.
No, it's amazing. They start the dominoes start falling after you get that first one. And David, I thought it was such a cool contrast to see Xander win it. You had Xander Schauffele and Bryson DeChambeau, two guys that could not be more on the opposite end of how you try and get that ball into the cup. One's driving a bulldozer, the other one's driving a Prius, but the guy in the Prius got there.
It was an absolutely incredible tournament. First off, Trey Wingo, can I compliment you on your Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid plaque back here behind you?
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
I have to humbly say I met both Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. So I have to tell you that story one time in private. But we got to talk about Scottie Scheffler.
You don't look that old. I mean, to be perfectly honest.
No, here's the thing you'll learn about David. David's really 84 years old, Trey. I mean, he literally has
he must be 184 if he met the actual Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
He probably did.
Not those guys. Not those guys. But I did star in The Legend of Bagger Vance as an extra with no lines.
Yeah, but everybody loved that part. He did great.
We got to talk about Scottie Scheffler. Trey, I saw a tweet that you put out that said something like, this guy gets arrested, charged with felony assault, makes his tee time, and shoots 66. Have you ever seen anything like this in your professional life?
Well, I mean, obviously we've had some instances with John Daly's gone haywire a little bit, and obviously Tiger's life sort of imploded in Thanksgiving in 2009. But, I would say that Scottie would. If you had given me a list of 100 guys in golf that would be arrested before a tournament, Scottie Scheffler would not have been on that list. It's just he's as straight shooter as it comes, and it's really a terrible misunderstanding. I really hope they drop all the charges here. They've already postponed the arraignment. It was supposed to be tomorrow in Louisville. They moved it to June, and that to me is an indication that we're going to all right, let's just all take a break here. People have been very interesting on their takes on this. Either just do what the police say or what's going on. Look, at the end of the day, it was a very confusing situation. It's 5:30 in the morning. It's dark. It's pouring rain. There'd been a fatality, which is awful. And the police were wearing the same yellow reflective raincoats as the security guards that were there hired to do it. And Scottie, when he was, all the players have said, when you see a security guard, just flash your badge. And he's also in a player courtesy car and go around. And so it's very easy for me to sit there and say, in that confusing situation, he had no idea whether it was a security guard or a police officer. And then, some Captain America jumps on the car and drags him out and was pretty aggressive from what I've been able to read about some of the reports there. And I did find it interesting. The funniest thing, just the weirdest thing about this in the charges against Scottie in the police report, the filing police officer said his pants were damaged beyond repair.
Oh, man. Yeah.
That's a tough one. We may have to get a new pair of pants.
Yeah, you should see me after an Auburn game.
I was about to say, or just after a really good dinner at Chipotle.
That's exactly right.
So the point being, I think, can we all just relax here a little bit? Yeah. Obviously, it was a very stressful, tense situation. And I think I'm really hoping that cooler heads will prevail here. And we just say, huge misunderstanding. Like, there are a lot of guys I would say, yeah, I can see him doing that. Scottie Scheffler is not a guy that's going to be, the police. You know what I mean? That's just that's not who he is.
Well, there was a million memes that came out after that, obviously.
Oh, the internet is undefeated.
Blaine was
the greatest days of
with
all
the Many Men.
It's the best.
Song
the Many Men they put behind Scottie
Shooter
Scheffler
McGavin. My favorite one was they had Johnny Cochran with the if he's next on the tee, he must be set free.
Yes.
What was the best
my
meme?
Favorite
what was the best one?
They had a picture of Scottie. Said, "Boy, that time on the inside changed him." They had the teardrop tattoo.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well,
it was very good.
I almost got our crack team here to come up with one of the memes from that movie Get Hard with Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell. When Will Ferrell's training to go to prison. But the minute I heard that Scottie Scheffler, because we were going live like 6:30 in the morning, this broke before us. The minute I heard Scottie Scheffler got arrested, I was like, all right, either it's one of two things. Either he did nothing wrong, or this is one of those situations, because I didn't know what the crime was. Or it was one of those situations where it's the guy you never thought did it, and then you find out he's been smuggling arms to North Korea for the past 6 months or something.
Correct.
The neighbor's always like, oh, we never thought Scottie was like that. Then you go look in the basement, and you find out, well, he's like that.
Yeah, he has 47 laptops.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Connected to China. Well, Trey, this is what I want to know. I got a question about a guy no one's really talking about, and that's about Jon Rahm. Two-time major winner. He misses the cut at the PGA. He finished outside the top 40 at the Masters. Do you think him being on the LIV has somewhat messed with his schedule a little bit of how much you're going to work like you are on the PGA?
I do, and I'll get to that in a minute, but I just want to make one thing more about Scottie. Like, just so people understand, that 66 was great, and obviously the adrenaline crash, and the next day he shot a 73. Now, why is that significant? That was 2 over par. That was his only round all season over par.
That's insane.
That's a ridiculous number. And all the tournaments that he's played and all the tournaments that he's won this year, he has 1 round over par, and it was Saturday at Valhalla at the PGA Championship. But as for Rahm, it's pretty clear on a lot of levels he's uncomfortable with where he finds himself. Like he had that interview leading up to the PGA where he said, I still feel like I'm a member of the PGA Tour and all this kind of stuff. And Golf Channel analyst Aaron Oberholzer wanted to, in his own words, wring his neck because you took the money and good for you. It was a $500 million. Like, go for it. But like, don't say you're still part of the PGA Tour. You can, and eventually, by the way, I think this beef between these two will eventually come together because they need each other. Let's be honest. They need each other. No one's watching LIV Golf. I mean, no one's saying they don't have good golfers. The product is terrible. No one cares about it.
It really is.
It's terrible. No one cares about it. And the PGA numbers are shrinking as well because a lot of their stars have left. So there's going to have to be an uneasy peace brokered between these two. But it's pretty obvious for Jon Rahm that he has some buyer's remorse, right? You can't play competitive golf all the time if you don't play competitive golf all the time. And look, I have no bones with anybody taking the money. I mean, that's life-changing, life-altering money. Although, as Will Zalatoris said a year ago, is it really life-altering money or is it just more money? And it's a lot more money. But, you did it, so good for you. But it's clearly messing with him. Like a couple of times on other LIV events, he's been just freaking furious at the way, grow the game and the music and people screaming. He's wanted to, hosel somebody with a 7-iron. So I think it clearly is bothering him on some level. There's no question about it. Now, he's just got to find a happy medium with it because, once you sign that deal with these guys, there's no like, oh, let me just give you the money back. No. There are penalties in those deals. If you leave early, what's the old line? Substantial penalty for early withdrawal? It is a substantial penalty.
Well, speaking about happy, it's like he's turned into Shooter McGavin with the beach ball going on the green where he just gets pissed off and throws them off. I do want to say, Trey, I mean, you're going to be doing the U.S. Open with NBC. You got PGA Tour Live and doing all that stuff. Before we ask you about the NFL here quickly while we have you, when you're covering golf like that, is it way, way, way different than anything else you've ever covered? I mean, you got NFL Live, all the stuff at ESPN. Is it like way different than basketball, baseball, or football? Is it a totally different experience?
It is in the way you have to talk about it. Like if you're Gus Johnson and you're calling a game, you're hyped all the time. And golf is like, let's go to the 7th green. See what's going on with Jason Day and wearing those Malbon pants in which he could probably sail away in a strong wind.
For sure.
I mean, it's just a different sort of approach. But I love golf. I love the game. It doesn't love me back. It's the only sport you can play your whole life and play competitively. So, and calling live events is so much fun. It's just so much fun. Like all the things I did at ESPN, and I loved almost all of them, whether it was, covering the Olympics or World Series or NFL Live and the draft. I probably had more fun doing 6 years doing the U.S. Open and the Open Championship for our interactive coverage, just being at those events and being able to be a part of it. You just get a sense of the moment when you're there that you can't explain in any other way. So it's really fun to be able to still be calling golf events, whether it's for PGA Tour Live or NBC. It's really just a really great way to sort of spend an afternoon.
Man, well, you guys do a hell of a job covering it, you included. I'm excited to watch y'all. Go ahead.
And quickly, I just want to, did it look like Jason? I couldn't tell whether or not Jason Day was 1,000 degrees or what he was wearing was made of the wind.
Well, I mean, the pants he wore at Augusta, I literally thought they were sails.
Yeah.
And I know that Malbon is on the cutting edge. I know some of the guys that are doing the marketing, and it's working because we're all talking about it. But like, didn't the Masters have to tell him to take off that one sweater? And it's just
it's like, dude, they're having to tell you to take off clothes at a golf tournament. Something's not right.
Maybe trying a little too hard.
A little too hard. Trey, last question for you. Trey Wingo, everybody, if you don't follow him, please go outside and look around. I guarantee you're going to see him somewhere on a TV screen somewhere. 33rd team, the NFL draft is just behind us. I know they got that one covered like a fat kid next to a cupcake factory. But when you look at all these new quarterbacks, I mean, again, it was 6 out of the first 12 picks. We look at Drake May, you look at Jaden, you look at Caleb, some of these younger guys. Is there one that stands out to you that you think you're like, hey, with what this guy's walking into, with where the organization's at, is there one guy you're pointing to and saying this could be the 2024 version of the 2023, CJ Stroud experiment where it went so right?
I think it has to be Caleb because if you look at the situation he's walking into, okay, not only do they have DJ Moore and Cole Kmet, they go out and get Keenan Allen for crying out loud. And we did a 33rd team podcast, Chasing It with Chase Daniel. We had Justin Herbert on the show, and that was before the trade. And he just went on extolling how important Keenan Allen was to him as a quarterback, knowing how significant it is to have a veteran wide receiver who knows where he needs to be all the time. And I say this, and also DeAndre Swift comes over. And the Bears defense, when Justin Fields, his first 3 years there, was one of the worst defense in the history of the Bears franchise. I mean, that's not hyperbole. That's a factual statistical statement. If Justin Fields had the weapons that Caleb Williams is walking into, Justin Fields is still a Chicago Bears quarterback.
I agree with that.
And Caleb Williams is getting drafted somewhere else. That's how good I think the situation is for Caleb Williams. Now, the division is difficult because I think the Packers are going to be very good this year. And obviously the Lions have proven what they're going to be. It's going to be a very, very difficult division, but I think Caleb is set up for success. Now, all that being said, here's what you need to understand. Most of these guys, or not most of them, more than half of them will probably fail. A good friend of mine named Paul Hembekides, who still works at ESPN, one of the incredible researchers we've had there and is now on Get Up, he put together a list of every single first-round draft pick from 2000 to 2019 broken down by position, 20 years of data, right? Mm-hmm. And he did it this way. Was it a hit or a bust? And it was a hit if you got a second contract with the team that drafted you, and it was a bust if you didn't. Of the 56 quarterbacks taken in the first round from 2000 to 2019, less than half of them got a second contract with the team that drafted him.
Yep.
Of the 77 wide receivers taken in the first round from 2000 to 2019, less than 26% of them got a second contract from the team that drafted him. So everyone's really excited when they get their draft pick until they have to play them.
Yeah.
This is the most inexact science in the history of the world. And everyone's really hyped until you realize we might have taken the wrong guy. And of the 6 quarterbacks taken in this year's draft, history tells us over half of them are probably going to fail.
Yeah, and just a note to everybody that does have a new quarterback, obviously situationally, you look at what Bryce Young walked into in Carolina. I think that's very comparable to what Drake May's walking into in New England. So you can't, football, this isn't basketball, this isn't baseball. One guy can't go out there and win games consistently. So I think patience, like we say, it's not just for therapists and doctors.
And for any of those guys where it doesn't work out and you don't get that second contract, look what Jared Goff just did with the Lions. His second team thrown away by the Rams.
Yeah.
That Baker's a good one, and Blaine's been talking about Baker like that for a while. He goes and he's a playoff team. I mean, hey, while we're just talking about Jared Goff real quick, did the Lions pay him too much, Trey?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that's the going rate these days. And, you know, everyone is going to look at that trade and say, well, the Rams won it because they won that Super Bowl, right? Sure. But which team do you think is set up for more long-term sustainable success right now? Yeah. Is it Matthew Stafford of the Rams, or is it Jared Goff with Sam Laporta and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Aiden Hutchinson and all the teams, the pieces they put around him on defense? Look, I love Les Snead and I love Sean McVay, and that was a big trade, and they finally used a first-round pick for the first time since taking Jared Goff in 2016. But right now, you could make a pretty compelling argument that Jared Goff and the Lions are better set up for more long-term sustainable success than the Rams are, although the Ram fans don't care because they won the Super Bowl. All 3 of the Rams.
And they're still going to be good, too.
Yeah, all 3 of them. 3.5 maybe if one of them had a kid.
Yeah, they'll be good.
But Trey, you're always a hit, man, never a bust. Thanks so much for coming on. Whether it's the 33rd team, whether it's NBC, whether it's PGA Tour Live, whether it's alternate routes, he's everywhere. Trey, thanks so much again, my friend. If I missed anything, please correct me.
Don't worry about it. Congratulations, guys. Now go get a cheeseburger and congrats on the new time slot. Well done.
Hey, appreciate it, Trey. Thank you. One of the best in the biz. Unbelievable covering sports, but an even better human being, Trey Wingo. Go check him out. It's always fantastic content. A guy I got a ton of respect for and look up to a lot. Speaking of respect, it's one of my favorite sponsors that we have right here, Canine Salute. What is Canine Salute? It is a veteran-founded company, all right, that is dedicated to providing healthy treats for dogs to honor and remember our nation's canine heroes who serve in all capacities of the military, law enforcement, fire, search, and rescue, as well as the many other service dogs that assist people in daily life. We know how much our animals mean to us. I mean, hell, I'm like Matt Damon, and we bought a zoo back at our house. We have so many of them. But this is a fantastic product. It's really good, too. They create a wholesome, high-quality protein treat, no harmful fillers or ingredients, and it's sourced right here in the United States. And each bag of treats is a heartfelt tribute to a canine killed in the line of duty, and a portion of it goes towards providing protective vests for all police canines nationwide. So we know our amazing dogs love us every day and serve our communities. Let's love and honor them with healthy Canine Salute treats. Right now, get 15% off your order at caninesalute.com when you use promo code BOOSTER. That's K9, the number, salute.com with promo code BOOSTER for that 15% off. David, rumor has it the phone lines are open. We're going to get to that.
Phone lines open
here shortly. Let us know, regardless, any topic, hell, even dating advice.
Well, best
I got my 1 year marriage anniversary today.
Yeah, today?
Yeah, today.
Hey!
Yeah. A year ago today.
That was fun, man.
Only time as a special teams coach, I was happy to outkick my coverage.
That was a fun one.
But no, shout out to my beautiful wife, Reed. Yep, who lets me do this amazing job, and she's absolutely incredible. So want to give her some love there. So, all right, Booster Club.
All right, Booster Club. Let's go to Travis K. Travi, what's up, brother? I live across the river from Louisville, and Louisville Metro Police Department is absolutely ridiculous. It is hilarious how bad the police department is. I guarantee Scottie Scheffler did nothing.
I just don't see Scottie Scheffler committing second-degree felony assault on a police officer.
I don't either, but I would still like to know the details of the situation for everyone who says, oh, well, he should have complied, right? This is something that conservative voices always say when random guys on the street are getting into trouble with the police is, hey, listen to what the police have to say. So, yeah, I don't want all the charges to be dropped from Scottie Scheffler just because he happens to be really, really good at hitting a golf ball. Like, what actually happened, I'd like to know the details, and it doesn't bode well on the police department department when you didn't have your body cam on, like on your body, or if you did have it on your body, you didn't have it turned on recording.
Yeah, well, I'm a firm believer in you show me who you are enough, I'm going to believe you. So if there is no video, I'm going to lean toward the side of Scott Scheffler probably didn't do anything egregious or worthy enough of a felony assault, even if it's in the second degree on a police officer.
Let's go to Matt Riley. Mr. Matt, what is up? He says the $350 million Rahm took probably makes him less sad on the day-to-day basis.
Yeah, like, again, if I got that type of money, listen, I'm as competitive as anybody, but every time I hit a bad shot and I want to throw that club, I just think about how much money, $350 million.
We threw a club this weekend.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If it's me, because I have the opposite problem that Scheffler had that Trey brought up. I never shoot under par. So I wonder what that's like first off. But as far as Rahm, if you're that rich, it would be so hard for me to get mad at anything. Like, honestly, mad at anything. And I guess that's easy to say when you don't have that money and you don't have to do the day-to-day stuff. But $350 million, man, that solves a lot of problems. Like, why is Jake always in a good mood? Why is Jake always in Nice? Like, why is Jake riding around?
They say more money, more problems, though, man.
I would love to have those problems.
Bring on the
trying to
problem.
I would love $350 million and then have those problems. Oh no, this roast isn't Italian. I'm pissed.
Have you ever seen anybody cry on a jet ski?
No.
Let's go to Tired Tiff. Says, since we're talking quarterbacks, can Jaden Daniels please not suck or get injured? What are y'all's thoughts?
I'm not worried about Jaden Daniels sucking. I am worried about him getting injured because I watched him run like he was Josh Allen and Cam Newton size in college. He literally ran into the arms of Jalen Carter. Like, he tried to do like a David versus Goliath with Jalen Carter. If Anthony Richardson can't survive 6 games in a season running the way he does, they'll be picking up pieces of Jaden Daniels all over the field for hours. It'll be a Mr. Potato Head situation. But here's why I do have confidence in him making that jump. What was the big knock on Jaden going through his career at LSU? He wasn't pushing the ball down the field. He made that adjustment. I think Jaden's a mature guy. I think he'll realize that, hey, this is the NFL. While he is probably, David, faster than most of the people that are out there, which is a very rare case at quarterback, but in Jaden's case, it may be true. He cannot rack up even half or probably even a third of the hits that some of these other guys do and be able to survive. We saw him at SEC Media Days, and he was bigger than he had been. Great energy, but thin. Very thin.
Very thin, yeah.
Very thin. All right, let's get to best and worst. I'm going to get to these phone calls. Remember, if you donate and it's on topic, we will read it. If not, at the end of the show, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll make sure and get to those donos. But best and worst, David, let's start with best.
Best and worst from the weekend. Obviously, we've already talked about Xander Schauffele. We talked about the NBA playoffs, but everything else outside of that. My wife sent me this video of Bryson DeChambeau from this weekend at the PGA Championship. I'm not a big Bryson DeChambeau fan, but this video makes me like the guy more, and I think I may start rooting for him. He tossed his golf ball into the crowd to a kid, and that golf ball got taken. Great. And this was the video footage of that. Please play it.
God, DeChambeau's just yoked. Yeah, come here.
Went after the guy.
Who does that? Who does that?
What a loser.
Good on Bryson. In the middle of his round, got that kid his golf ball
If there's
back.
one guy I don't want to piss off on the tour, it's probably Bryson DeChambeau.
The one who's flying at 350?
And I'll see you in the parking lot. No, this was like, again, you think of DeChambeau, let's be honest, he's got some douchebag qualities. You kind of get that vibe a little bit. We all know that guy, and I don't know Bryson personally, so I don't want to accuse him of that. But I think there's a lot of leg press, judgment, screaming, those type of things.
Leg day.
Yeah, look, I've got no problem with leg day, David. A lot of people do have a problem with leg day, but I don't. My thing I wonder if part of this was Bryson trying to get that karma good for the late run.
It looked too natural.
It did look too natural.
Was natural.
I've watched a little bit of Bryce's YouTube channel.
You like him?
You'll start warming up to him a little bit.
It's a little Jake Paul a little bit. Hey, I'm kind of...
Nah, Jake Paul's just a rich kid douchey.
I don't know.
I don't think
Bryson DeChambeau grew up in a trailer park.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like Bryson catches a lot of flack because he's doing like his own weird little thing when it comes to golf. Like all shafts the same size.
Yes, but he's doing it from like out of respect for the history of the game.
He's doing it
like
from
the
an analytical
mechanics
standpoint.
of like he's engineering it.
Yeah. Which I think is, from a golf standpoint, I think is cool.
It's working.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Like, I'm not going to make fun of you for hitting the ball farther.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about that ambiance you give off. Look, the audience, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, right? We all know that guy. But seeing this, it endears Bryson DeChambeau more to me. I do like this. I thought this was a good find. One of my best. All right, let's bring up the kid watching the EA Sports college football trailer. Let's circle back to this. We got a lot of talk about what's going on in schools, what kids are watching. I would like to qualify that I feel like every child 10 and under should have to watch the reveal trailer. Watch the happiness on this kid's face. Let's go ahead and play it. Turn the flyover right there. Look at that. Yeah. This makes us better. All right? I know the Chinese kindergartners are over there dribbling like the Harlem Globetrotters. We got to start somewhere. It starts with the EA Sports college football trailer. Let's show the kids, you need to learn the way I learned from my father.
Learn
from his father.
All right, I love it. If you know me, I'm a big advocate of what? Of fighting in sports, depending on the drugs. This weekend, NASCAR, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Kyle Busch got after it. Roll the video. I can't wait to see it.
It's a real fight.
Real fight.
I think all the rules go out the window.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Come on.
Squad ride.
Ricky
Come on.
Stenhouse.
Squad ride. Come on.
Pit
Pit crew's in it. His pops is in it. It's a good old-fashioned, hey, why are we fighting at Buffalo?
I love it. I love it. The NASCAR and fighting should be a thing.
I agree with that.
Because you know what? It's rednecks and fighting. That's a thing. What do most fans are at NASCAR? Let's be honest. They're rednecks. What's better than beer, rednecks, fast cars, and fighting?
That's what I'm saying. Again, this sport was created by bootleggers during the Prohibition. There ought to be fights. All right, and now I'm not talking about the Major League Baseball. I'm going to bow out my chest, and we're just going to grab each other and look at each other in the eyes and just have a weird, intimate moment, or just be pushing. I want real fights. That right there, while that wasn't the cleanest, I'm not saying any of these guys need to go to the octagon or hook up with Dana White and join UFC, but that was a real, actual, legitimate, I'm going to whip your ass, you're going to try and whip mine, just a good, old-fashioned, family fun fight.
I have it on good authority. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. started that, though.
Good. If you watch, there's a video where you can see Ricky. It's like,
Kyle Busch walked 200 yards over there to get his ass whooped.
Well, again,
I can't object to that.
Ricky Stenhouse is sitting there waiting on him like a Western.
I'm talking about who started it on the track.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know who started on the track, but I do know Kyle's known for antics. He's one of the villains when it comes to NASCAR. I mean, he walked over there drinking a Coke, all confident. Next you know, old boy Ricky caught you with his dirty right.
Yeah, he did.
Shouldn't have talked to his sister.
It was good.
One more best. I got the Usyk Fury fight.
Oh, yeah.
We couldn't watch because we were at our boy Rhino's wedding, but I had Tyson Fury minus 120 in this, so I was getting updates. Said he dominated the first 6 rounds. He got dominated in the next 6. Usyk handed Tyson Fury his first professional loss, which is wild to me. Tyson Fury, 6'9", 262.
Yeah.
You know,
he's from like England, right?
He's from Britain. He's from Whitenhall, United Kingdom.
He just looks like he's straight out of a Guy Ritchie movie. My other best, I got a couple of them, but they're in the college baseball realm. All right, let's bring up the twins first from South Florida. This is really, really cool. So you had the 2 twins. They play for South Florida. One of them's a pitcher. In their last game ever in college, they got his twin brother to go take him out of the game. They both play on the same team. This is just a heartfelt moment. It shows you, the importance of sports and just how much goes into this and being able to play with your twin brother. This had to be awesome. Let's go ahead and roll this clip. South Florida baseball here.
And they're going to send.
You can see, these are the Meek twins. Now, it's not a Gucci Man song, but just, this has some Marley and Me vibes. Your brother comes out and gets you.
No, it doesn't have Marley and Me vibes.
It's like
that's tough.
It's a happy sadness.
No one was happy. No one was really
It's a happy sadness
at the end of Marley and Me.
But you realize how much you love your dog. You know what? Now you're messing up the canine salute situation. That's what I don't like. The second one. Let me give a little love to the state of Alabama. Birmingham Southern. All right, this college is going to be shut down on May 31st. Yet the baseball team just advanced to the Division III Super Regionals. So there's a chance, fellas, if they make it to the Division III College World Series, you're going to have Birmingham Southern, their baseball team, playing for a team that doesn't exist.
No way.
Or that doesn't exist. A school that does no longer exist. It's like that movie Accepted.
Who are they?
Like the South Harmon Institute of Technology.
Justin Long?
Yeah, like they're out there writing.
Go out strong as an
Who
institution.
are they playing? Who are they playing?
It doesn't matter. They're playing the transit. Wow.
Yeah, can we
transy?
start the video? Because
it said trans
it
athletic.
said trans.
No, it didn't.
Bring it up.
Start the video over.
Bring it up. Start over.
This is
Now
what I
someone's
was
taking a
It says trans athletics.
Yeah, I was like, oh god.
Well, I'm double glad they won.
We're already seeing that in Oregon this week.
Yeah, no wonder they
Good win, boys.
Yeah,
Good win.
who are they playing? The Furries in the Super Regional?
Pretty good 4-hole this year.
Yeah.
What's y'all's word?
Oh my gosh. All right. I'll go ahead and do my worst. My worst, if my brain works anymore, guys. There's some heartbreaking news that I hate to share with you guys. And when I heard it, I took a moment. Speaking of Marley and me, a personal moment.
Jim Otto.
Red Lobsters.
Oh.
What did you say?
Jim Otto died, but I did. Okay.
Oh, well, that sounds like it sucks. But
Let's talk about something that's worse.
yeah. Can we talk about something that's important, David? Red Lobster's going bankrupt, you guys.
No, it's not.
Here's my first question.
How?
How does this happen? Mismanagement at an all-time high. You're $1 billion in debt? Just give me the recipe to make the biscuits. We'll be $3 billion in profit within 6 months. Up until I was 13 years old, I wanted to have every birthday at Red Lobster, your birthday dinner. And the same thing would happen every time. And you can ask Blanye East. He was there for all of them. We'd go there. I'd eat so many of those cheddar biscuits, I wouldn't even make it to the meal. I would order the meal, but it was like a right of privilege for my birthday. How does this happen? I'm disgusted. I need names. Right? I need times.
And Captain D's is still open.
And Captain D's is over there
is
laughing
still
at you.
open, and we can't. That's
They
how I
make
feel
their
about
fish out of
Quiznos.
paper.
Anybody else,
That's how I
or
feel
maybe
about
it's just
Quiznos.
the darkness in me, every time you go to a Red Lobster, you would just talk mad-ish to the lobsters in the tank.
Oh, dude, you want to talk about
before you go
lobsters
sit down?
catching a break?
I'm like, I'm about to go eat everyone you know.
Yeah.
Everyone you know at this table. What are you going to do about it? You going to crawl out?
You're
Yeah.
a psycho.
That's my worst.
Crawl out.
That's my worst.
All right, on a more serious note, this is my worst over the weekend. Auburn running back.
Oh, this is awful. Brian Battie.
Brian Battie and his brother. Brian Battie got shot. He's in critical condition. They got shot in Sarasota, Florida. His brother Tommy has died. Well wishes to their family. All prayers. Brian needs all your prayers. The Auburn family needs all your prayers. And anything we can do to help, man. Brian, keep fighting, brother.
Yeah, there's a GoFundMe that's set up as well. Auburn football. Hugh Freeze released something last night. There was a setback. I believe he's still on a ventilator.
Yeah.
It's just awful. Just absolutely awful.
Man, I hate to hear that. We're praying for him. My worst of the weekend, like I said, Jim Otto, the original Raider, Mr. Raider, on that inaugural Raider team, made the 00 number iconic. He died at 86, went to the University of Miami. Every time I think of the 00 number, I think about Jim Otto and how cool that was with his name. So we lost a really good legend there. That's one of my worst. And then the second one I wanted to talk to you guys about, Paul Skeens in his second start, getting pulled in the 6th inning in the middle of a no-hitter because he had reached the 100-pitch count. I get it. Guy's young. You've invested a lot in him. You don't want to overthrow him. All these Tommy John surgeries.
You know who his girlfriend is?
We can't leave the guy in, though, in the middle of a no-no in his second start?
I just don't understand. Like, what has happened to baseball, dog? What has happened? What type of manager is he like, all right, he's at 100 pitches, he's a no-hitter, let me go pull him.
Listen,
7 straight strikeouts to start the game.
I think I understand that the arm injuries are at like an all-time high in baseball right now in general, from the top to the bottom. But I think it's one thing if you go pull a guy that's reached 100 pitches, that shoved for 6, maybe gave up 1 earned run on 4 hits, walked a couple guys, not turn a no-no.
Like, you know how precious and how just little the opportunity is for guys to throw a no-hitter?
It's un-American.
To take him out,
That's
it
a good
is.
word for
It's
it.
un-American.
There you
It
go.
really is un-American. Real quickly, David, before we get to calls,
All right.
I'll tell you what is American. Starting your own business. All right? And starting from the ground up can be tough, especially when it comes to running an online storefront. But Shopify, yeah, you heard it right. They make it easier than ever. It's a global commerce platform, David, and thank you for asking, that helps you sell at every stage of your business, from the launch your online shop stage to the we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's here to help you grow. And when you hear this, hit it, David. We rich, y'all. Congrats. Our marketing team uses Shopify every day to sell our merch. We love how easy it is to add more items, ship products, and track conversions. On 4th down, Shopify always gets it. So sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Crane. That's C-R-A-I-N. Shopify.com/CRAIN. Go there now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. That's shopify.com/Crane. David, hit that sound one more time.
I got you.
Yeah, I got that John Rahm walking around, never pissed about pulling that 3-iron money. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about it. Shopify, electrify your shopping experience. All right, David, let's get to the call.
Call in. Y'all remember after someone calls in, that line's open, then you call back in. Let's start with David in Tampa. David, I need you to set the tone here on a Monday. What you got for us?
Good afternoon.
What's up, man?
What's up, David?
What's up, guys? So first off, a couple things before I get to my main talking point. One, Jake, congrats on your 1-year anniversary, brother.
Thank you, bro.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir. And then last thing before I get to my main point, since you guys don't do a show early in the morning now, like what do y'all do in the morning? Do you just goof off now?
Well, I find out where the president of Iran's helicopter is. No.
I slept till 6 a.m.
The cool thing is, like, never mind, I woke up at 6:15. I can't sleep late after getting up this early anyway. No, a lot of it, when news breaks throughout the day, we actually can follow it and then be able to report on it. But a lot of it's just kind of doing what we do when we would get done, right? After the show in the early mornings is literally going and watching sports. And, we go on different radio shows all the time, different podcasts all the time. So that really is kind of the filler there.
Yep.
Yeah, nice. Well, anyway, guys, I don't know if you knew this, but I'm an Orlando Magic fan, and you guys were talking about the NBA earlier today, and I just kind of wanted to piggyback on that a little bit. I think if you're a Magic fan, you have to be super encouraged, not just because you had your best season in a decade or so, but look at the way that the landscape of the NBA has been. Look at the teams who are left in the conference finals, right? You got two teams, the Wolves, and it is the Wolves, by the way, just to let you know.
The Wolves.
And the Pacers, You got two small market teams in there, and not just this conference finals, but just look at the teams that have won it all recently. Teams like the Milwaukee Bucks and the Denver Nuggets last year. And even if you don't consider Denver to be a small market, it sure as hell ain't Boston or Los Angeles or New York. And that's kind of the thing about the NBA, where just recently, it really felt like if you were a team in a small market, well, you had no shot in hell, right? Like, you're not in a big market. You're not in a city with 1 million people living there. You're toast. But I'm really encouraged by how the NBA has been changing lately. And now it's gotten to a point where small market teams like the Orlando Magic do have a legit chance. So,
yeah,
agree with you guys completely. I think the NBA has changed, and it certainly has changed for the better, and it's giving small market teams, a better chance than really they probably ever have before.
No, David, I agree with you 100%. I think it makes the product better. Obviously, we always say the second best utility behind fertility is versatility. You look at what the Bucks have been able to do, and a lot of these teams are grown from within. They're not super teams that have been put together, which I think is another thing, even going back to the Warriors, like David brought up. I think that's a good thing for the league. I hope it continues.
Appreciate
Absolutely.
it, David.
Thanks, David.
Thanks, Dave.
Hey, buddy.
Call in again soon, brother. All right, let's go to Timothy in Green Bay. Timothy, what's up, man?
How you guys doing?
What's up, man?
What's up, dude?
I see Jake just continuing that lie that you're straight.
No.
I mean, look, I'm married to a beautiful female woman. All I can do is just go out and play the game.
He's in deep cover.
Allegedly.
That's just,
No,
yeah, it's funny. Says the only guy who's not married to a woman up here.
Don't deflect. All right. Don't make this about me.
I have an interesting question. So the Packers schedule, if you guys pull that up, we have back-to-back Thursday night games. Have you guys ever seen that?
What? I haven't seen back-to-back Thursday night games. What I'm interested to see is with all the cord cutting now and these different streaming services picking up games, I think that's going to be something that happens more and more.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I don't like that. We have the Thanksgiving game and then we have the game right after that. That doesn't make
Well, at
any
least
sense.
it's a week. At least it's a week between.
Is that better than or is that worse than a short week?
I would take that over a
next
short
Sunday?
week. 10 out of 10.
I guess, but there's to my knowledge, I don't think there's any buys around it, so I've never seen anything like that.
No, I'm trying to think Thursday to Thursday in the NFL. No, I mean, you look at college football, obviously that happens with the smaller conferences trying to get on, these primetime channels, they'll play on Tuesdays and then another Tuesday and then a Wednesday and another Wednesday or Thursday and then another Thursday, but not in the NFL like that. It's either been short weeks or normal weeks.
How do you feel about the Packers schedule?
I actually like it. I think it's very manageable. Nothing like no insane games back to back to back or anything. So I'm pretty confident with it.
We'll see. You're in a pretty tough division, which again,
Yeah.
I feel pretty good about where I was if I'm the Packers because a lot of stuff worked out around Jordan Love. You look at Wicks, you look at Reed, you go through the list, and I thought y'all had a really good draft. I thought it was a very solid draft, not the sexiest draft, but that means it's a solid draft because sexy, that can be potentially dangerous and potentially risky. Yeah, what's it looks like when the makeup comes off? That's when you really find out.
Appreciate it, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
And then one last thing. On that, the 7-on-7 team I'm coaching, one back-to-back, so we're 8-0 on the season before the tournament.
Okay. So y'all are 8-0. Y'all are 8-0 right now.
8-0.
I don't. Nobody's.
Yep.
Timothy, nobody's talking about it. Nobody's trying.
What age group is this, Timmy?
16U. So
16U.
Okay.
Okay.
All
right.
Keep
You
crushing.
get deep in your bag there, Tim. You get deep in that bag.
Yes, sir.
I love it, man.
See you, bud.
For calling in. We appreciate it. All right, let's go to Chris in Michigan. Chris, what's up?
Good afternoon, guys. What's up?
Hello, Chris.
What's up, dude?
All right, this is a good time to remind everyone that Michigan is the reigning national championship winner.
Tell 'em again.
Okay.
Is it a
with
cult,
that.
Chris? Is it
Y'all are
a
just
cult?
cash fans, dude.
So, yeah, it's actually funny that I don't know. So I think with what happened this past year, it definitely brought the core Michigan fan base a little more together.
Okay.
But Michigan has just always been such a big fan base that it's really hard to claim it as a cult, I feel like.
I agree.
It's just- it's just
Why
so
can
big,
cults not be big?
When you're that
You
big
ever
of
heard
a
of Jim
fan
Jones?
base- well, I'm just when you're that big, it's really hard to have like those cult type things. I mean, like fan attendance, like we've never had below 100,000 fans in
Yeah, it's a cult.
decades.
It's a
So it's like that's a huge deal. But it's like, I mean, being a Michigan fan my whole life, there's nothing I can really think of like the 12th man that Michigan has.
Again, I think, and I want to make sure everybody understands, I'm not saying Michigan is the most cultish. Not at all. I just
But
think, what is every cult when they start out small, what do they want to have happen? The cult gets what? Bigger and bigger. You guys' cult has gotten so big, you're almost considering yourself not a cult anymore.
And you can only see that growth if a large part of the fan base did not go to the school.
Yeah.
And Michigan certainly has that. And a lot of other Big Ten teams try and make fun of them and saying Walmart Wolverines or something. But name me a great college football program that doesn't have that. You can't grow the brand unless people are wearing Michigan hats in the middle of, where'd you see it? In the middle of Paris?
Middle of Paris.
They didn't go to
Can't
Michigan.
escape you guys.
We need them on the team. Okay, yes, they're bandwagon fans. If we go 8-4, they're going to be off, but that's okay.
Well, David, this is where you come in. This is where the David Cohn, let's get Michigan more cultish tour happens.
Can we say go blue?
Everybody it starts with saying go blue.
Right, Chris?
It starts with saying go blue, then why are we all wearing robes,
I'll tell you,
showing up to arenas?
Let him weigh in on this. I want to hear this.
Maybe this is a little cultish, but so my daughter, who was born November 24th, 2022, has still yet to see the Buckeyes beat Michigan.
That's
amazing.
amazing.
And I already said before she was even born that she's going to the University of Michigan. I don't even care.
Good.
Doesn't matter. She's going there.
Good.
Doing the Lord's work.
So, but to my main question that I had, it is about Michigan football. So you see, Sherrone Moore, new coach, offensive line guru. You see what they did in the transfer portal the past couple of days. They added like 3 or 4 DBs. For me, I thought the offense on Michigan was probably the thing that needed the most help. But are they just loading up on just saying, hey, we're just going to be a really heavy defensive team, just carry over from last year? What do you think the thought process is there, just sticking with the offense and just loading up more on the defense?
Well, look, I mean, we just saw they had the best defense in the country and they won the national championship. And that's coming off the heels of Georgia winning back-to-back national championships with having the best defense in the country. So if you're going to tell me that only one unit's going to be, far superior than the other one, I would take the defense. Sherrone Moore being an offensive lineman himself, and he comes from being the offensive line coach before he was the offensive coordinator and before he was the head coach, that makes me feel good, especially when we're having to replace a lot of that unit. Obviously, Donovan Edwards getting a lot of hype being on the cover of the game and stuff like that. We know what he did in the national championship. But look, you can win big by having a really good defense and focusing on the run game, even though as we sit here right now, we don't know who's going to play quarterback.
Yeah, and I think, too, it's something we talk about all the time. You want to use the transfer portal to plug holes in the ship. You don't want to build the whole ship out of the transfer portal. At least in my opinion, that's been the best way I've seen this experiment work out. Michigan needed some help at that spot. They're shoring up a little bit there. But what I do like is I feel like there's some young guys that Michigan has offensively, including up front, that they feel like are ready to play. But to David's point, that defense is going to be what was always going to carry you in 2024. So adding some more depth, especially in the back end, with what you're going up against, with that schedule, with Texas, with Oregon, going to Ohio State, that's going to be the girl that takes you home. So you better make sure you pull up in a nice car.
Appreciate it, Chris.
Yeah, no problem. Go Blue.
Thanks,
Blue,
Chris.
man.
He said it. There's the start.
Thank you for calling in, brother. All right, let's go to King Den in Little Rock. King Den, what's up?
Hey, y'all, how you doing?
What's up, man?
Hey, first off, I just want to say I think of all the don't think I would ever take Blaine's dating advice in a million years.
Thank you.
Why not?
You're a smart man.
Why not?
You're a smart man.
Yeah, well, you need to know your multiplication tables yet. Why are you worried about that?
When you're double my age and you're still not married, so.
Golly,
Yeah, I know.
Monday,
I'm
King?
sorry.
On
Come
a
in,
Monday?
throw
My
a
love,
shot.
my love for your mother is just too strong.
All right, what's up, King Den? Good start.
So I've been thinking about it, and the Jets don't really necessarily have the deepest roster, but if they stay healthy, how, including like all their stars and Aaron Rodgers, and not just Aaron Rodgers, but also like Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, how far do you think the Jets team can go if they're, completely healthy, which won't happen, but theoretically?
Well, I think if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, and wait for it, the Jets could win the Super Bowl. That's what I think. I think around him, you took away their Harry Potter. Like you took away their Superman. That's what happened. And the Jets, everything else around it was built pretty well. Now, I know there's some problems, a couple skill positions on offense. The offensive line wasn't great, but Aaron Rodgers could have made up for a lot of that at the quarterback position. We know how good the Jets are defensively, and they're only going to play better around Aaron Rodgers. So if Aaron stays healthy with the pieces the Jets added, I think the Jets can be a legitimate Super Bowl contender. I said it last year before he got hurt. I'm going to say it again. He's been out in the cabin with the lights off, sitting in the dark, trying to make sure everything's right, eating God knows what, right, that grew out of God knows where. But I think Aaron Rodgers and the Jets could be Super Bowl contenders.
I agree with that. I think a lot of it has to do is what you kept on defense if you're the Jets. You kept your three best players, and you look at the draft, what'd you need? You need offensive line. You get the tackle out of Penn State. And I really think two low-key really good picks. Obviously, you got to remember the Jets got who in the fifth round of quarterback? That's Jordan Travis.
Yeah.
I think Jordan Travis in the future might make a little bit of waves there. And I do think Braylon Allen from Wisconsin is going to be a great running back for them, especially, you had a rookie running back. He got hurt. You're adding depth.
Breece is nice, too, man.
Yeah, you're just adding depth. And he's and Braylon's a bulldozer now. So I think, look, and we talked about it with Michigan, if you can play good defense and run the ball, and you're only adding Aaron Rodgers with the receivers they have, you're going to be good enough to win it all.
Yeah. King Den, we'll see. I hope they do well.
Yeah. Their biggest enemy right now is their own turf. And real quick, I do want to say, though, about their offensive line, they added 3 new offensive linemen, which honestly might hurt them more than it helps, because the biggest offensive line is probably like the most chemistry reliant and having good chemistry with each other's position group in the NFL. It's not even close. And I don't know if adding 3 new linemen is going to help.
I do think that'll hurt, but with that, what will help that is having Aaron Rodgers.
That's exactly right. The man can cover up a lot.
They'll go as he goes.
Definitely. King Den, great stuff, buddy.
Thanks, King Den. All right, let's go to Pokey Texan in Texas. Imagine that. What's up, man?
Well, I have to say, first off, my son is not thrilled with the new time slot. He's not able to listen to y'all while we're headed to school anymore.
Well, he can listen on the way back from school, which everybody's happier.
That's right. Well, he's going to be getting in the truck and be able to listen to this here in just a minute. But wanted to talk to y'all about what it's like to be in the Aggie family, not the cult, and tell you as quick as I can, a story about the 3 greatest days in a row for young little leaguers that we had this last weekend. I took my boy and a couple of his teammates down Thursday to the water park called Bluebell. I don't know if you saw how much they had to work to get that game off to then see the greatest pitching duel of the year between Hagen Smith and Ryan Prager. And then the bullpens were fantastic too. And then a walk-off walk in the 11th for that.
You basically went to a Major League Baseball game. That's what you did.
Yes. Wasn't the greatest. The boys didn't, love the no offense, but it was something they'll definitely remember. But then Saturday was a great game, even though we lost, playing arguably the most talented all-around team, minus they're not great at hitting the long ball. Wasn't expecting to sweep them. But had a great time on Friday. Weather was much better, of course. But then on Saturday, the 12th man, Targash, hits the winning hit for the Game 3 win as the 12th man. God bless that kid. He's worked so hard over the last few years. And for him to go out like that on senior day, so
destiny.
Impressive. So that's why it's not a cult. It's a family.
Well, to me, and I say, Pokey, I say cult I use that as a good term. I'm saying I'm not saying that as Auburn fans, again, we throw toilet paper into trees. I say it as a good thing. Some people will say it as a bad thing. I'm not saying this like one of the cults that says, hey, I'm going to catch a comet. We're all going to die at the same time to make sure that we catch it. No.
Y'all are doing that?
Not and
How much
yet.
do you care?
Not yet. If another 4th and goal from the 31 hits, I'm going to start thinking about doing it. But no, Pokey, I mean that in the most positive.
Flames at the Flaming Dragon on that.
Yeah, I get it, but I think there's levels of cultness that helps or hurts you.
See, I disagree with that.
I'll give you this. All of our base celebrations are related to the same things that we practice at Midnight Yell. So maybe that's a little culty.
Yeah, it's like some culties are cool and some are just lame and gay. And I think Texas A&M's, from a cult standpoint, is lame and gay.
Look, Pokey, listen, you can. What's your Twitter handle?
Y'all can post that. This is nothing new.
It really is.
Blaine's had this ongoing war with Texas A&M.
Hi, my name is Blaine.
This is not hate towards A&M
gay. Yeah, that's what Blaine's. That's why the mayor won't let him.
I have no problem with A&M fans. I just don't think putting a guy in overalls that get him up on stage for 3 minutes for him not to tell unfunny jokes.
How do they do it? Hey!
They're like, hey, we're not funny.
I'm not going to part. Pokey,
well,
I'm rooting for Mike Elko, and I may pick y'all to beat Notre Dame, so we'll see.
All right.
That's the last part of the story. My boys and I all got to meet Mike Elko on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
Saturday.
I think he's the right guy, right time.
Look, undefeated. Y'all Nebraska, national championship.
Here we go.
Y'all get ready.
I love it.
Thank you, Pokey.
All right, we got 3 callers left. Let's go rapid fire like we did last Friday so that we don't leave anyone out on the first afternoon show. We need you guys to stick to 15 seconds here, all right? Say your piece. Jimbo in New York, what you got, man?
Hey, what's up, fellas? This is your boy Q Smoke Jimbo.
What's
here.
up, man?
Big Knicks fan. So since I probably have only a few seconds for this point, I gotta tell Ja Rule to get off my lawn, man. So
Ja Rule?
So you had the nerve to jinx the Knicks this series by taking a photo op and a video holding the Larry O'Brien trophy after we won.
No way.
Given your history with the Fire Festival, burning your entire music career to the ground, it's no wonder why you curse the Knicks too.
The combination.
It's no wonder why it's 50 Cent is in your head like Pennywise.
Where would I be without you?
Look, at least you got Fran Brown. And I'll say this, the combination of Ja Rule doing that and Stephen A. going to the game, no wonder the Pacers shot 130.
This is the only show where you can go from making fun of Texas A&M to Ja Rule.
Ja Rule. Y'all are welcome. Thank you, Jimbo.
Thanks, Jimbo.
Hey, call in next week, man.
Jimbo.
I want to hear your full thoughts on this next week. All right, let's go to Austin in North Carolina. Austin, 10 seconds here, buddy.
Hey, what's going on, boys?
What's up?
Call sign for today is Southern Buckeye. I'm a first-time caller, long-time listener.
Love it.
Sorry,
all right.
David.
All good, man. Everyone's welcome here. What's on your mind?
Hey, I'm wondering if you can add to the gift shop. I want a certified a real piece of your actual lawn. I'm talking a 4x4-inch square, preserved in polyurethane, putting it right on my shelf, and then come late November, I'm going to sit on it all game as I'm watching the Michigan versus Ohio State game.
Hypothetically speaking, how much would you pay for something like that?
Yeah, hypothetically.
Hey, tell me where to send the check. I need that.
We're selling pieces
Hey,
of
that
the
Buckeye
property?
degree, that Ohio State degree, they say you got that long.
Comes with a video of me cutting it out.
I'm telling you.
Golly,
Hey,
awesome.
Austin.
I need the certificate of authentication.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll get you that.
Notarized.
Preserved.
I tell you what,
Golly,
this
guy's
may be
not
the start
here.
of something beautiful.
Austin, I need to hear from you more,
Austin,
brother.
you may have just started
You
something
want to be business
beautiful.
partners or what?
Yeah, please call in more.
All right, last one today. Thank you, Austin. Last one, Jordan in Boise. Jordan, you got 15 seconds. What's going on?
Hey, boys. Thanks for taking my call.
Of course.
Love the new time slot.
Thank you, sir.
My one main thing, and I know this is probably going to take a little bit longer for you guys to explain, but I'll keep it as brief as I can. What is the argument for, like, I'm a Phillies fan. Phillies have the best record in baseball, but everyone's like, oh, they haven't played anybody. Their schedule's weak. And is there an argument against that, or am I just benefiting from a weaker schedule?
Number one, there's 162 games. Like, everybody's basically going to play everybody like that. I guess up to this point, you can be like, these have been the weakest teams so far. I just think beauty's in the eye of the beholder. On one hand, the Phillies can only play who is on their schedule up to this point. And I'm not going to get mad at you for beating teams that you're supposed to beat. Then on the other hand, people are like, well, they haven't really been tested yet. I put it this way. I would much rather have the best record in baseball right now than to not have the best record in baseball. And if y'all are trying to throw shots at me for that, and look, I'm a Braves fan. This pains me to say. But the only thing I would be worried about as a Phillies fan is if it's one of those start hot early, fall off late deals. But the best part about the regular season is you guys have plenty of time to fall off before then and then get right back on because there's 912 regular season games
True.
left.
Appreciate it, Jordan.
Yeah.
There you go, Jordan.
I think you win that just by oozing confidence.
Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, speaking about oozing confidence.
Great call-ins today, y'all.
Yeah, great call-ins. Same time tomorrow. We're going to get to them even earlier tomorrow. I know we had a bunch of people wanting to call in today. Speaking of oozing confidence, every month so far this year, we've been up. This month, as a group, already got 5 people betting. This month, I think we're down 8 units. Hey, let's get it together. Let's get it together.
Units. How are we down 8 units?
Overall, that's what it said in Cody's deal. Overall, that's what it said. Maybe my math's wrong, but we'll see. All right, tonight, here's what I got. It's the dog days, but that's fine. I'm riding on the ice. It's hot outside. It's cold inside. Give me Vancouver, Edmonton over 5.5 at -120. I know it's game 7. Everybody's a little nervy. Should I shoot it? Should I not? Shoot it. Trust me. The second one, Canucks money line. Why? I don't know. They're both in Canada. I had to pick one of them. Give me Vancouver.
I like that. All right, let's go. White Sox, Blue Jays, Nerfy, no runs in the first inning at -135. I got a little 2-team MLB parlay here for you. Astros win, plus the Dodgers win. That's money line across the board at +107.
Okay.
All right, I love it. Thank God for Jamal Murray. Yesterday, covering for your boy, up 10 units on the month. Let's keep it going.
Hey, don't make it about you.
It's not. It's about us.
No, yeah, about us.
It's we, not me.
It's all right. Let's make it about
Let's go
we.
Mariners, Yankees, Nerfy. That's going off at -120. 2 good arms on the mound. You always get worried about it when it's at the Yankees small stadium. On to get Red Sox, Rays, Nerfy. That's going off at -130. We're going to stay with the Nerfy.
Dance with the one that brought you. What is Ace got? Ace,
You had Red Sox Rays?
Yep.
All right.
So put his odds at
Ace, come on down, baby. I love it, though.
He's riding with the Canucks. All right, Ace, together. Let's all hope together.
Canucks, too?
Let's hold hands and hope.
Wow.
There you go.
All right,
Look
that's
at
it. At the end of the day, we'll see. We'll see.
board.
All right, let's get to the donos, then the poll.
All right, we got a $2 donation from Tim Johnson. Said Xander fired his dad as his coach and hired Chris Como.
Chris Cuomo?
It's not. It's Bryson's coach.
I was
By the
about to
way,
say,
the
Chris
second
Cuomo
shot
ain't
from
making any
feet in the
birdies.
bunker was sick. Xander's just cold.
Listen, do you know how bad it has to be to,
I don't know if
to
you
fire
fire
your dad?
Yeah, I don't think you fired him.
I think you just tell
We're
Dad,
going to get some help.
Dad, we're going to get some outside help.
Yeah, we're going to get some help.
And you're going to still do all the stuff you're doing,
you mad.
except you're not. It's not going to be the same stuff. This guy's going to do some of it.
Co-parenting.
That's kind of how you
Hey,
do
Dad, shut up.
They're co-parenting.
Go fire
Xander.
your dad.
Well, it's like I said, I hope now Xander can squash his beef with Hawk.
Yeah, that's true. $10 donation from Django Nova. Love the new time slot, guys. The NFL question for you.
Hit me.
How do you think the Texans did in the draft, and how do you think they're going to do this season? Think there is a chance of them going all the way?
I'm trying not to get too hyped up about what the Texans have going, but I feel like every decision it's gotten to the point now where I trust every move that they're making because they've made all the right moves. Now, we talk about sophomore slump. How do you adjust to the adjustment? That's not just for the players. It's not just for CJ and those guys. It's D'Amico Ryans as well. You have a year of the book out on you. We talk about this in pitching. It's not just how you go out and throw the first time. It's not just how you go out and throw the second time. It's how do you adjust when they adjust to you. But the Texans have made all the right moves. I thought they did a really good job in the draft. And this is a young team that's going to grow together. They're going to go through ups. They're going to go through downs. But at the end of the day, they're going to do it together. And that's what experience, the unteachable intangible.
They got a DB from Georgia. They got offensive linemen from Michigan and Notre Dame.
They got Cade
Stover.
Yeah. Don't hate it.
Really good tight end.
Don't hate it.
Let's go to a $2 donation from our residential Phillies fan, Ryan Gade. Ha, 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 ha. Braves lose 4 in a row and 5.5 games.
I'm just bookmarking this. We're in May, and Ryan's bragging. All right, well, just book it. I'll be back. Well, what did Arnold say? I'll put the glasses on. I'll be back.
$2 donation from Sky Prize. Shows at 2 p.m. Are y'all going to try the Gonster now?
Okay.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not drinking that stuff.
We get...
He's pushing it hard.
I've eaten the hot chip. You've done the labor simulator.
I ate that stuff from Australia.
That stuff, no.
Y'all don't get to put mine down. Dude, the labor simulator did nothing.
It put him in simulated
I
labor.
had a baby.
I died over here.
I had a child.
And I ate damn hot wings at the J-Boy show.
David gave birth to a human child.
I gave birth.
Simulated.
You did not.
Like that little alien in Men in Black.
You did not. If it doesn't make Michael Knowles cry, it doesn't count.
Well, Michael Knowles he's just made of bone and skin. It's not going to affect
It hurt worse.
No. Do the math. John Brinkus would tell you otherwise.
Let's go to a $5 donation from Keegan W. Keegan, thank you. Says, not surprised I couldn't get through on the first day of the new time slot. I'll try and catch another day. Love being able to listen and love listening to the show live, boys. Keegan, appreciate it. Keep calling in, man. We'll get you in.
We'll get you in there. We're going to try and have...
Keegan Bradley
called the day before. We're going to try and get somebody else in there. We've got a rotation we're figuring out.
$5 donation from Jacob Rosie. Love the show and the new time slot. Recently dislocated my knee and had a pretty major surgery to repair. 2 p.m. show is perfect way to pass the time. Hell yeah, brother. You get better.
Get better. Get better. We're here for you, dog. We appreciate it.
$5 donation from Jack Hogan. Appreciate it, Jack. Shout out to Maddie Pinta. 200-plus pitches to get to the regional final before one of the worst umpires I've ever seen took over the game yesterday.
It's like I said, there's 2 jobs where there's no accountability, being a politician and being a referee, official, or umpire. Oh, no, I screwed up your whole season. No press conference. No fine. Guess just try harder next time. It's the hardest job in the world. Y'all act like they're single mothers during the Great Depression. It's laughable.
Speaking about a Great Depression, $10 donation from David S. Appreciate it, David. The NBA just recently was the only league in America where you could guarantee who was going to win the finals, or at least make the finals before the season even started. This is no longer the case.
Parity. It's a great arity.
$5 donation from Nathan J. Prayers for Auburn running back Brian Battie, who's in the critical condition after a shooting yesterday. Hit that earlier. $5 donation from Matt Riley. Jake, I'm still waiting for my Crane & Co. merch after the Dodgers stomped the Braves.
Do I owe him merch?
I hear none of
or is he talking about if
Kurt?
the Dodgers stomp the Braves? I don't know, Matt. Either way, let me know. DM me on social media or whatever. I'll get that handle. I'll get it out to you. FedEx Express, whatever it is.
$5 donation from Steve Trading Card Frenzy.
Stevie.
Let it be known that the first ever dono for the afternoon show was sent by the owner of the Booster Club cards. I'm here for you, Jake.
Stevie.
$5 donation from David's favorite humping badger.
Ugh.
Thank you, David Cohn, for being nice to me and making the show later in the day. Yeah. Watching this show in the AM after all-nighters at the club is tough.
What you and that badger do in your alone times.
$5 donation from Freeway Jared, West Coast, baby. We in here.
Up in here.
$2 donation from Ben Sampson, Blaine, but with an E. Wrong, Ben. Don't do that.
No, you spell like that.
$5 donation from Sorrel Goolsby, Mr. Goolsby. I can finally watch live streams. Y'all are the GOATs. P.S. Jake, did you see ULM got general booty?
Dude, our
NCAA 25 Dynasty loading in.
Yeah, our boy Bryant Vincent's the head coach over there. I'm so pumped for him. I'm telling you right now, I analyze without bias. I am rooting for ULM if they don't play Auburn or South Alabama. That is happening. My boy BV, shout out Bone. You know what time it is.
$5 donation from Jack Mock. It's a CNC tailgate fund for 2024 Maui Invitation.
What? Girl, stop. Don't tempt me with a good time. I went to Hawaii one time. I will go back to watch basketball. I'm surprised they let Zach Edey back out after he went out.
$5 donation from James Stallings. Glad to hear the show's back at 2, guys. I just wanted to take this time to say prayers out for the Battle family.
Yeah,
absolutely horrible tragedy that happened. Absolutely. Let's go to $20 donation from Nathan Roth. Nathan's throwing out a little bread. Jake. Can I get a motivational speech for my 8-year-old daughter, Harper, having her first ever swim meet this week for the JCA Macos swim team?
8-year-old Harper? All right, play it. Let's do this. I tell you what, Harper. People say age doesn't matter. Well, in this case, it doesn't. It's about swimming. It's the water that matters. Now, you'll hear a lot of hoopla. Oh, let's just make sure they finish the race. Everybody gets a trophy. That's not how life works. But more important, that's not how America works. So when you jump in that pool, you don't just represent yourself. You don't represent all the 8-year-olds in America. You represent Crane & Company. And I'm rooting for you. And when you get done winning that race, or when you get done completing that race, you listen to what your parents say, and maybe they'll take you for fast food, if that's allowed. But go do your thing. We're rooting for you.
Let's go, Harper.
Let's go.
Let's go, Harper. All right. Last donation today, $2 donation from Timothy from Green Bay. Appreciate the donation. You said, Blaine, I would trust you with dating advice. You know what, Timothy? I appreciate it. I feel like I won that that match with King Don.
Yeah, you keep feeling that way.
One more. $5. Appreciate all the donations, guys. $5 donation from Matt Riley. We made a bet during the NCAA championship games. Braves win series, you bet $50 dono. Dodgers win, I get merch.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, DM me on social. Send me your address. I'll get that handled. No problem.
All right,
Sorry
Paul.
it took so long. Go ahead.
Did you like the new NCAA football trailer? Yes.
Yeah.
No. Mid.
David, you go.
Yes.
100. I'm going to go 99.99% yes.
Mid. 19%.
Y'all are just, that's disgusting.
No, 6% yes, 75.
Okay, that's good.
I forgot Humping Badger was in there.
3/4. Yeah, he's a terrorist. It's basically the Joker. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for all the donations. Thanks for everybody being in the chat as well. We love the new time slot at 2 p.m. Remember, without y'all, there is no us. We love doing it. Any questions, anything, we're always down to talk to you guys. Y'all are family to us. We're really excited to be in this time slot and be able to talk all the great sports that there is. And like the chances of us having
Can we all catch it at the same time?
I don't have a card.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Mess up the end.
Whatever.
Don't mess up the end. All right. And like the chances of us having to get up at 4:30 in the morning, we're gone.
Oh, no, I got it.
No, you didn't. You dropped it. That's it.